We have come so far with this Mercedes GT63 that I purchased from auction. Come on, let's go. GT63S is mine. I only paid £86,000 for a car that wouldn't start. Can't really go wrong, right? I later found out that I had purchased footballer Ashley Young's car. What a coincidence. This car had initially suffered from overheating by losing all of its coolant, which meant that both the head gaskets needed to be replaced as the compression was so low from the damage. Being a car made in 2021 and with only 4,000 miles on the clock, that is the only thing we changed so far. All was good till we got the car started and ran into more faults. Fault finding can be very frustrating at times, where many just give up and call it a day, or even decide to burn their car. I mean, look at this guy. The story is he was fed up with the maintenance and after sales service. He just ended up burning the whole vehicle. We at Boost Performance, however, don't give up and are here for business. We will get this car sorted one way or another. So let's get started. This video is sponsored by Manscaped.com, the global men's lifestyle brand. Manscaped is trusted by 9 million users worldwide. This here is their Performance Package 4.0. I have to say, I'm very impressed by the packaging. It's very high quality and actually feels like a personal gift to myself. Well, at least that's how it feels. So if you like treating yourself, this is something I can highly recommend. I mean, look at the amount of things you get with it. Now this here is the Lawnmower 4.0, their 4th gen trimmer, which features a cutting edge ceramic blade design to reduce cuts while grooming, and also a 4000K LED spotlight for when you need a more precise shave. The Lawnmower 4.0 also features a smart cordless charging system, and the LEDs at the front show you how much charge you have left. You think that's good? What you also get with the Performance Pack 4.0 is the Weed Whacker 2.0. This uses a powerful 7000 RPM motor and has an improved steel blade system. The Weed Whacker 2.0 is also cordless and rechargeable with a battery that lasts for 45 minutes. Manscaped even throw in 2 free gifts, the anti-chafing boxers and the shed travel bag. Go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use the promo code NAMSBOOST at checkout. Now, back to the video. Alright people, today we're back on the GT63s AMG and it's about time we get this rotor sensor adaptation issue we've been having for the last few weeks. In the last video, we diagnosed the wheel problem we had where the car wouldn't go above 5 miles an hour and the ABS kept kicking in like crazy. Today, we're here for only one thing, and that is the engine management light. We are going to find a way to fix that. So let's get started. Guys, there is now only 3 days left for the Audi S3 competition to end. Entries now cost only £2.99. What are you waiting for? Somebody is going to win. What that means for you is you have a much more higher chance to win. All you have to do is head over to boostcomps.co.uk, enter the competition, answer the question, choose your entries and enter. I will be announcing the winner on YouTube Live. Just look at this. It is stunning. Worth £10,000 on the market. Yours for £2.99. Good luck. So as you all know, we completely assembled this engine back up, put it back in the car, had it running, and in the last video we even drove it on the road. And these are the only fault codes we have on it. Sensor rotor adaptation has not been performed. We've been trying to do that and obviously haven't been able to do so for whatever reason. That's what we're going to figure out today. These are the other 2 fault codes you got in the engine to do with the exhaust and intake camshaft. They deviate from the specified value. There is no implausible signal. So where it says implausible signal, it's pretty much to do with the sensor not picking up correctly. So it's quite obvious that the camshaft sensor, where it sits, is meant to get a signal, right? Now if that sensor is faulty for any reason, obviously it's not going to read correct. Now another reason would be if the camshaft sensor is picking up from the wrong location, i.e. if the camshaft is slightly out, like maybe out by 1 teeth or 2. Even though we used genuine Mercedes timing tools to time up the engine, it may be possible that something on the timing is not correct. And by the way, it's not for the full engine. This car has 2 banks, being a V8. Bank 1, driver side, and bank 2, passenger side. The fault code we have, as you can see, says cylinder bank 2. I'll get this cover taken off now so you can have a look and see what side we're talking about. So now that we know what the fault code relates to, we know what to look at, right? There's 3 things: camshaft sensor, camshaft adjuster, and obviously the timing. Timing being the biggest thing, where we have to more or less strip all of this down and unfortunately go back to the timing chain and assess the timing. Luckily, it's only on one side. Obviously, when we done it before, the engine was out of the vehicle. We done it over there where we build our engines. So what we're thinking to do is remove the front bumper, remove the front radiator pack, all of these bits, and access the timing chain from here. But before we do any of that madness, we're gonna have a look at the camshaft sensors, just in case it is a sensor. Who knows? I know it's a brand new car, but You just never know. One or two of them may be faulty. So let's have a look at that first and we take it from there. I find it a little crazy that we just done a full engine rebuild on this and we're out here stripping it back down again. Luckily, it's not a full engine strip down. It's only one side and not even a full engine strip down. It's just the top and the front timing cover just to make sure the timing's okay. And that's what you get when you carry out major engine surgery. We are in the process of removing the front bumper off, removing the radiator pack and whatever else is in front of it. We're then going to get access to the timing chain cover right there. Strip that open, give us access to the timing chains and obviously the camshaft. I'm pretty sure something on the camshaft side is not right. It could be the, what do you call it, the pickup. The camshaft has a plate at the back of it which the sensor takes a reading from. It's actually very similar to the ABS sensor and the ABS ring. The ABS ring is the mechanical part, ABS sensor is obviously the electrical part. Now, same way with the timing side, the camshaft is the mechanical part, camshaft sensor is the electrical part. Now, if the camshaft is slightly out, it's going to get a wrong reading and it will, as a result, say implausible signal. So yeah, let's get this bumper removed and let's get cracking. Much rather do that than take the gearbox off and pull the engine back out again. That's just nonsense. Let's hope that we are able to access what we need to see through this way. Let's go. So to remove the bumper, we got to remove the arch liners first, as we have done, all the screws and then the first clips. And then you have a few screws over here, 2 screws on this side and a few on the top, and that should release the front bumper completely off. All right. 30 minutes later, this is how the GT63s is looking. So we got this slam panel at the top, that needs to come off, this plastic bit, and obviously the radiator pack. And once we're there, as you can see, you're gonna have the intercoolers to remove, and slowly we'll get to the front part of the engine. Almost there. Which one of you experts can tell what car this is right now? Of course, except by looking at the engine itself, which could be either a E63S, a GT63S, a G63 AMG, or even a C63S, although the C63 is a bit different on top. Alright, finally, we now have the front end stripped out, the bumper, the rad pack, intercoolers are now all removed. So this is bank 2, and what we're going to do is put the timing tools on, set the timing, and first of all see is the timing out or not, and then from there we can decide what needs to be done. Remember, this car has 2 banks, bank 1 driver side and bank 2 for the passenger side. Here's the timing tool, the camshaft lock, we'll put that on. We're going to put the other locks on. We've got the lock on the crankshaft already at 12 o'clock. So we've now put on the camshaft lock tool, which covers both camshafts. But then you've got individual lock, which is this one. And I think we found a problem, possibly. Have a look. So when you try to put the other lock on the other side, can you see? It's not going on properly. Look at the amount of gap. And that is because the camshaft seems to be slightly out. This is the intake camshaft. And this ain't going on. For sure, we got some sort of a timing problem. Why it's occurred, we can only find out by retiming it, spinning the engine manually and checking again. Either we've made a mistake where it's 1 or 2 teeth out, or there's another mechanical fault somewhere in the engine. So we know what the situation is with that camshaft, we know it's out. So what we're going to do now is remove this Vanos, realign the timing, put it back on, take the tools off, spin the engine manually this time, see if it lines back up or if it skips. If it stays on, it means we made a mistake on our part. If it does realign back up, that means we made a little error on the timing side. We're all human at the end of the day, we make mistakes, so let's see. It might not be the case. It might be the fact that this is faulty. Time will tell. So we're just aligning the camshaft now in order to make the camshaft lock fit on correctly. So now we have the other lock on. We're just going to put the bolts in to secure that on, and that should be the timing set on this side. So we had to adjust this side camshaft to put this one on. So for sure the timing was out. And to confirm, the crankshaft locking tool is at 12 o'clock. Yep, that's in. That lock is on. Locks are on, yeah? So all good to go. What we're going to do is then remove the timing tools, rotate the engine manually from the crankshaft, and then recheck the timing again. If the timing turns out to be good this time, it means it was our error, which will be an installation fault rather than anything else. But if the timing jumps again or goes out anyhow, then there's a mechanical fault somewhere. We're going to have to look further on that. Let's remove these timing tools, let's rotate the engine, and let's see what happens. So it's time to rotate the engine. We're going to go all the way around till it comes up 360 degrees, and then we're going to go back around once. So see that? That's where we started at 12 o'clock. Yep. So that's one turn so far. 360 degrees. We're going to go again one more time. Each turn turns the camshaft halfway. So now we're going to bring the camshaft back to where it was when we timed it. Okay, so we have now spun it twice. We have now inserted the locking tool. All we're going to do now is install the timing tool back on again and recheck the timing. All right, so we have just spun the engine twice, put the timing locks back on, and this time it's gone on perfectly fine. At this point, it would prove that timing was out on this side camshaft because it's now gone back on without issues. So when you have the car running, usually the crank obviously spins at 1000 RPM, which is 1000 revolutions per minute. Right now we're just on 1, isn't it, with our hand? So imagine. Anyway, 1 revolution is enough to check the timing. So there's not much more for us to do right now other than box everything back on. Look at this, completely stripped out front end. But yeah, pretty much put everything back on, start up the car, and then redo the rotor sensor adaptation, and hopefully it goes fine. So we have now timed the engine back up. We did that the first time, and we used what? We used these Mercedes-Benz genuine timing tools, right? And if they're known for one thing, they're accurate and very precise. So who can tell me what the problem is here? Why is it that we timed it this way, exactly the same tools, and it's kind of went out of timing? And that's $1 million question. I'll tell you why. So again, these are the tools we used. They're not no cheap aftermarket copy. These are genuine Mercedes timing tools. So very precise and accurate. Once you time them and you take them off and spin the engine, it should remain in timing. I'll tell you what the issue could be. See the timing chain tensioner right there? So when you strip these open, they lose oil, right? And they need oil to operate them. So if you ask me, my guess is when we started the engine up, the tensioner had little to no oil, and therefore the timing got retarded and it threw the timing out a little bit on the intake camshaft. So as you saw, we have now retimed it up, removed the tools, spun it 4 to 6 times, and we've had no issues so far. So the only thing we gotta do now is put everything back on and start up again, and then redo the rotor sensor adaptation. And this time we should have no error codes. Let's hope. In terms of assembling this beast up, look at that. Yeah, we got work to do. Let's crack on with it. I hope I can get this all squeezed in one video before Sunday. This is crazy. It looks like it's had a full-on front-end accident. Mental, mate. Absolutely mental. Let's go. Let's get started. All right. So quite a few hours later, we now have the car fully boxed up. We've got the intercoolers back on, all the ancillaries, injectors, ignition coils, spark plugs, all of that stuff. All right, let's go. Let's start it. Car's back on. Let's have a look. So we're going to check for fault codes. Engine manual light is still on. as you expect. What we're going to do now is clear the code off the dash and just hope that the problem is now fixed. However, the car still needs the rotor sensor adaptation done. So let's get into the car, read the fault codes and take it from there. So initial scan, we have 10 fault codes. All of these, bear in mind, we just stripped everything out, and also the front end is still stripped. So until we box that up, we are going to get more faults. So let's clear these first. Okay, so now we're left with one, right? Yeah, as expected, we now have sensor rotor adaptation has not been performed. Let's start the car up again. Now, considering everything's okay, if we do the sensor rotor adaptation now, it should clear the code completely. So let's go ahead and do that now. That's the thing that we couldn't do in the previous videos. We've done it 100 times and it wouldn't work. Yeah. F1.
Yeah.
So we are now erasing the values and have been reset. Adaptation data has been lost or deleted, which is what we just done now. A test drive should be carried out. Continue. Right, if I tell you something now, you guys aren't going to believe it. Have a look at this. Read that. Same fault code as before. Sensor rotor adaptation has not been performed. Again, implausible signal. Both of them on bank 2. Ignore these ones. These are because the bumper's all taken off and it's all stripped out at the front end. These have come back. After all that stripping and retiming the engine, it's come back. So who can tell me what the problem is here? Because I tell you right now, I've got a feeling I know what's going on here. Let me jump out. All right, let's do a recap of what's been happening here. Oh, look what's coming through the door. G63 AMG. We fitted the overhead LED bars and the bull bars as well. Look at that, it's like a tank. It's barely fitting through the door. Back to the GT63s. Whoa, do that again. You can't see it because of the sun, but the light's on. But yeah, back to the GT63s, yeah? What have we done today? We have taken from bank 2, where the fault codes are coming from, the timing chain cover, the rocker cover, all of that, and found that the intake camshaft timing was out, right? And we use the timing tools to time it back up again, assuming that that's going to sort the problem out of implausible signal. 2 fault codes, intake and exhaust camshaft on bank 2, right? And for whatever reason, it hasn't. The same fault codes have come back. We're a bit stuck right now, but if you ask me, it's all part of the process. We have to do that in order to go to the next step. So initially, when we stripped it up, we were thinking, obviously, we timed it up exactly the same way that we did now. It wasn't even a mistake, by the way. We timed it up the exact same way we did now, and it was somehow thrown off. Now, we're thinking, what's causing the engine to throw its timing off so many times? Stick my head in, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's not rocket science. Implausible signal from the camshaft. It can only be the sensor, it can only be the camshaft itself, the camshaft adjuster, one of these things, man. But something is throwing the timing out mechanically. It could be the timing chain tensioner, but come on. This car is a 21 plate, 4,000 miles on the clock. Is it really going to be the tensioner? It's brand spanking new, basically. I don't think so. I think something somewhere is not right. And it's not the timing, because we already corrected that. It's basically threw itself out again. Very annoying, man. We're going to have to find out. We're going to take this timing back off again, which means the front end is coming back all off again. All of that stripped down and back to the timing to recheck. Has it gone off? If it hasn't, obviously we can figure it out from there, but the fault codes are the same as before. So some of you guys watching are probably thinking, we're looking like amateurs right now. But let's get this straight, yeah? How many workshops in the UK are touching cars like this? Mercedes rejected this vehicle, get that right. They wouldn't dare touch this car. They would replace the engine, they wouldn't do it. There's not many workshops in the UK that actually dare to take one out, strip it down, reassemble it, all right? We did that, but it takes a lot to do that as well. Investing in this car, buying it as a non-runner, that's step 1. Stripping it down and rebuilding it, step 2. And facing problems like this, it's all a risk and it's all part of the process. So you haters out there, shut your mouth. Yeah, just joking, just joking. But yeah, I think that's it really. You know the score, GT63s, fully stripped out, and I think we're gonna strip it again. It's part of the process. Sometimes when you diagnose a car, you have to go back and forth till you get it right. That's how we do it. A lot of people give up, that's not like us, so yeah, we're gonna wrap up here. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. Just subscribe already. Like this video, subscribe. And leave me a comment. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.